and welcome to the latest installment of The Drive. I'm Brian Montopoli with CBS News, and I am here to talk to you about how the Republican presidential candidates are doing this week. This is our pre-4th of July edition. I hope you have great plans for the weekend. Let's just jump right into it. I want to start with the fact that a CBS News poll this week showed that just 23% of Republican voters are happy with their choices. Now, it's early, but 23%, that's not a very high number, and it shows that there's not a lot of excitement about the candidates on this board. Now, not everyone we have on our board is at this point a candidate. One person who has not entered the race and somebody who might excite some of these folks who aren't terribly excited yet is Rick Perry, the Texas governor. Now, we have him past the 20-yard line on our board, and of course, to remind folks, this is showing where they are in the drive towards the nomination. The touchdown, of course, being winning the nomination. We've got Mitt Romney out in front and Perry not too far behind, even though he hasn't entered the race. There was a poll this week, separate poll, that showed that Tea Party voters are now favoring Perry over any of the other candidates. He supplanted Mike Huckabee, who of course elected not to run. So Perry's looking good. There seems to be a hunger for him. Tea Partiers seem to like him, so he's well positioned. We'll see if he gets in the race, but he's well positioned. But Perry wasn't the big news this week. The big news, of course, was the controversial, much talked about Representative Michele Bachmann, who formally announced her campaign on Monday, although she's been announcing her campaign for about 3 or 4 weeks now, but she announced it Monday in Waterloo, Iowa. Now, in a lot of ways, this was a great week for Bachmann. She's gotten a ton of press. She's being treated as a top-tier candidate. I suspect her fundraising is going to spike here right before the fundraising deadline. A lot of good things for her, but I have to say, in my opinion, this wasn't a great week for Representative Bachmann, and this is why. A lot of people have been focusing on this gaffe she made where she said that John Wayne was from Waterloo, Iowa, her hometown, and she wanted to channel some of his spirit, when in fact that wasn't true. It was John Wayne Gacy, the infamous serial killer. And that was good for a lot of chuckles, but it also reinforced a narrative about Bachmann, which is that she plays fast and loose with the truth. She's been checked by nonpartisan fact-checking outlets, and they found a lot of the things she said, whether about the Founding Fathers or about President Obama, just aren't true. And this notion, she needed to come out this week and sort of fight against that. Instead, she perpetuated it with her gaffe. I also want to mention the fact that on Face the Nation on Sunday, where she appeared with the host Bob Schieffer, she basically dodged a whole number of questions. Schieffer kept having to say, look, I feel like you're not answering. I feel like you're not answering. That's not good for a presidential candidate. So while Bachmann's had a big week in terms of people seeing her and visibility, she hasn't had a great week in terms of establishing herself as a serious candidate. So I'm going to actually move her back a little bit from where she stands. She's been at the 22-yard line, and she's going to come back here to about the 15. Now, I still think she's the favorite to win the Iowa caucuses, but that's no guarantee of the nomination, as Mike Huckabee, the winner in 2008, can tell you. Last person I want to mention quickly is Sarah Palin. Palin was in Iowa this week. There's a premiere of her movie called The Undefeated, which celebrates her career. Now, Palin is giving really mixed signals. She's not reaching out to folks in Iowa, which you would think she would do, but she's also not discouraging them from organizing on her behalf. So I'm going to keep Palin where she is. She remains divisive, but she was in the news this week, and I wanted to mention her. What you need to look for before the next episode are the fundraising numbers. This is the last day where candidates can raise money, and we're going to see in the coming days reports start to trickle out about who's up, who's down, who's doing well in fundraising. If Romney puts up a huge number of 30 million, 40 million, that's going to help people start to see him as the undisputed front runner. Maybe some of these folks, your Herman Cains, might put up a surprising number, and that's going to help them. Fact of the matter is, fundraising basically is incredibly necessary to winning a campaign. And if you put in an anemic number, someone like Tim Pawlenty puts in an anemic number, it's going to just push you further down the pack. People are going to not rally around you, and you're going to be in trouble. So that is it for The Drive for today. I hope you have a great 4th of July weekend. We will see you next week. I'm Brian Montopoli, CBS News. Thanks for being with us.